Star Trek has some truly evil forces, but I can prove why the Dominion is the worst. The Star Trek universe has never been short on villains, from power-hungry Klingon warlords to coldly logical Romulan conspirators. Even the Borg, with their terrifying promise of assimilation and loss of individuality, have haunted Federation space for decades. But among all the threats that have crossed the Alpha and Beta quadrants, none are as thoroughly, insidiously evil as the Dominion. A vast interstellar empire ruled by shapeshifters and propped up by fanatical armies, the Dominion wasn't just another galactic bully. It was a totalitarian nightmare built on fear, control, and genetic slavery. Here's why. Out of all of Star Trek's antagonists, the Dominion is the absolute worst. The Dominion's foundation is built on paranoia and control. At the top of the Dominion hierarchy are the Founders, also known as the Changelings, a race of shapeshifters who were once hunted and feared by solids, or corporeal species. Their traumatic past evolved into a twisted philosophy. If the galaxy would not accept them, they would dominate it. And dominate they did. What makes the Founders particularly terrifying isn't just their powers of infiltration, but their mindset. They genuinely believe they are doing the right thing by imposing absolute control over entire civilizations. They view all non-shapeshifters as potential threats that must be suppressed or destroyed. This isn't conquest for glory or even resources. This is preemptive subjugation driven by a pathological fear of others. It's an authoritarian regime motivated by paranoia, justified with cold, fanatical logic. That worldview isn't just frightening, it's irredeemably evil. Unlike the Klingons, who at least have a sense of honor, or even the Borg, who operate more like a natural disaster than a malicious force, the Founders know what they're doing and choose domination anyway. The Jem'Hadar. Genetically engineered slaves with no free will. The Dominion doesn't just conquer planets, they remake their citizens into tools. Nowhere is that more evident than with the Jem'Hadar, the Dominion's shock troops. Bred for war and violence, the Jem'Hadar are genetically engineered from birth to be loyal, obedient, and addicted to a drug called Ketracel White. This chemical dependence ensures their unwavering loyalty, as the Dominion holds exclusive control over the supply. The pale moonlight. Even Captain Sisko, the moral heart of the series, is forced into a compromise so dark that it haunts him. Why? Because against the Dominion, the Federation couldn't afford to play by its usual rules. The Dominion does not respect laws of war. It does not spare civilians. It does not negotiate in good faith. The war wasn't just about winning territory. It was about survival against an enemy who would exterminate you without hesitation. That sheer ruthlessness puts them in a league of their own. Even the Founders' redemption arc is tragic, not hopeful. By the end of the Dominion War, Odo convinces the female changeling to surrender and promises to return to the Great Link to share his experiences among solids. It's a small glimmer of hope, but it's built on a mountain of ash. Unlike the Borg Queen or Romulan conspirators, who remain defiant until the end, the Founders' surrender feels more like resignation than redemption. Their actions caused trillions of deaths, and they only stopped when utterly defeated. The damage they did, to others and to themselves, is so profound that Odo's choice feels more like penance than victory. The Founders had the capacity for compassion, but they buried it under eons of bitterness. That choice, more than anything else, is what makes them the worst villains in Star Trek. Conclusion. Evil by design, not circumstance. The Klingons are warriors. The Romulans are schemers. The Cardassians are brutal. The Borg are unfeeling. But the Dominion is something far more horrifying. Evil by design. Their empire isn't just a political entity. It's a weaponized ideology, built on the belief that control is safer than freedom, and obedience is superior to individuality. They breed slaves and program worshippers. They infiltrate and dismantle rather than simply destroy. And worst of all, they truly believe that what they're doing is right. In a universe full of threats, the Dominion isn't the loudest or the flashiest, but it is the most chilling. Because its cruelty is cold, calculated, and deliberate. And that is why the Dominion isn't just one of Star Trek's villains. It is its worst.